All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so on day three, I was mentioning that you guys learned about Flask and integrating it with PostgreSQL locally, but today we will be learning about AWS and deploying a Flask application through an EC2 instance. EC2 stands for uh, Elastic Cloud Computing. So it's pretty much a virtual server. Think of it as that. Uh, So this is week two, day four. My name is Eric. I will be giving you guys instructions for today. Like I said, we will be getting into Flask on an AWS EC2 instance and deploying it. So you guys have learned about different operating systems like Mac OS, Windows, Linux, etc. in past lessons. For example, during the install fest, depending on what operating system you had to run different commands and or follow different procedures to set up. Uh, so uh, Before continuing on with that thought, our key objectives for today is being able to SSH into uh, an AWS EC2 instance, setting up a Postgres SQL Postgres database on an EC2 instance, and using Python. Uh, we're going to be using a HTML file as well as a Flask uh, Python file to create this application onto the EC2 instance, and then we're going to convert the database data into CSV formats for users to download. Uh, so getting into the first lesson for today, and we've seen how Unix has a fascinating history that shaped modern computing. It's designed as a lightweight, portable operating system for researchers. Over the decades, there have been some new OSs, its descendants, Linux, Mac OS, BSD, which stands for Berkeley Software Distribution, and it evolved into the diverse ecosystem we use today. But with this diversity comes a headache, variation in tools, commands, configurations. If you've ever typed a command only to be met with an error, you felt that frustration. It's like reaching for a tool you're sure is there only to realize someone has rearranged the whole toolbox. So with that being said, the main thing I want you guys to understand is to get the basics down, because once you learn a certain system or technology, you can kind of notice a pattern and use that for other tech stacks or technologies. But of course, it'll be different commands utilized, but it kind of works the same underneath. So that's really what I want you guys to get out of that. Now let's imagine you're working on an EC2 instance. I mentioned it's like an EC2 instance is a virtual server that you run on AWS. You expect apt because you're using Ubuntu, but instead you find yum. And yum is what you would use for Linux. But both of those commands can pretty much do the same thing. They upgrade or install different packages within that server or OS. So you try editing a file and discover the editor behaves differently. Even something simple like finding the logs can feel like a wild goose chase, because the structure of it is a little bit different, but like I was saying, the basics is still kind of the same. Maybe the file paths are different, but everything will start to click the more hands-on you get with it and the more practice you get with it. So it'll be you might not get it right now, but soon you will. You'll get a lot of hands-on experience with an EC2 instance and deploying applications on there throughout this cohort. You try editing a file and discover the editor behaves differently. Yeah, we went over that. So over strategies on the path to mastering operating systems. These are some of the strategies. There's 5 listed here. Learn the universal fundamentals. So navigating through the file system, viewing file contents, managing processes, editing configuration files using Vim, building muscle memory. So like I was saying, repetition is your best friend. It's like working out. The more you do it, the more easier it'll get, and you'll remember, uh, oh, hey, I had a error from yesterday or 2 days ago, and now you'll be able to solve that a lot quicker compared to the first time you ran into that error. So that's kind of what building muscle memory incorporates, some of it. The more you practice, the faster your fingers and brain sync up. So set aside time to practice basic tasks like setting up servers or checking logs. Pretty much just uh, keep on getting the practice that you need. Be intentional about learning when you run into an error. Don't just fix it, understand it. Like I was saying in the previous lectures, don't just go to ChatGPT and throw in your error in there and copy and paste that code. Actually understand what that code is doing before you put it into your file. And with that being said, too, I would type it out even if you understand it so that you get that muscle memory and practice. Document everything, keep a running log of commands that worked, errors you fixed, and oddities you encountered. This becomes your personal playbook, saving you from Googling the same issue twice. Start by doing what feels natural. Over time, you'll develop an idea of whether you need to be more detailed or more succinct with your notes. This is a good one. I recommend whenever you're doing these challenges or assignments to open up a little notepad. I use Microsoft OneNote on the side, and as I go through the process, usually I would write down everything I am doing. So each command that I run, I would put it in order within that file, so then I can always refer back to it if I end up getting, if I am working on another project and I get an error, I can kind of just refer back to that note and see, oh, hey, I missed a step or I missed a command. And with that, you'll get that repetition as well. And it it really also expedites if you're working on another project and uh, you want to deploy an application, but you've already deployed an application, so now you'll be much faster with going through that whole process compared to the first time you did it. So documentation is really important, I think, and uh, I highly recommend it. And like I was saying in the beginning of the lecture today, I want you guys to have a notepad open and just take down notes with everything that we will be discussing, so that later on when you're going through the challenges, you can go back to it and remember what commands to run. And stay curious. The more you explore your environment, the less intimidating it becomes. Take a few minutes to run commands like uh, menu name or df h, play with the tools. To be honest, I do not know what this is, but that's a good learning point to put into ChatGPT and see what it does. Maybe it will be useful in the future. Understanding local versus cloud environments. Working on your local machine, you might use Mac OS, Windows, or Linux, each with its own ecosystem for installing packages and managing services. However, when you move to the cloud, particularly on EC2 instances, these differences grow sharper because you can use uh, different images or different OSs within those EC2 instances. Uh, and it is influenced by the Amazon machine image that you select. So that pretty much gives you prepackaged configurations that can be deployed within your server. So you can have AMI for Ubuntu or an AMI for Linux. Any questions so far? And again, an Amazon machine image is pretty much a ready-to-use template that contains operating system, software, and settings needed to launch a virtual server, which in this case is called an EC2 instance within AWS. Key differences to consider: package managers, Ubuntu uses app, Amazon Linux uses yum or DNF for package installation. Red Hat uses RPM for package management. Some AMIs come pre-configured with essential tools like AWS CLI or Docker, while others are minimal and require more setup. So you really have to be cognizant of what your use case is and selecting the correct AMI. Permissions, EC2 instances often require additional configuration compared to local setups, such as SSH key management, IAM roles, and network rules. So this can be something like security groups, which is in IT terms firewalls and open different port configurations that can really dictate the outcome of uh, whether your application is working properly or not. So these variations mean that understanding your environment is critical. By learning to navigate these differences, you will be better equipped to adapt and troubleshoot effectively, building confidence no matter where you're working. So what is an AMI? We mentioned it is a template. Understanding the differences between local and remote environments help you approach cloud systems like EC2 with confidence. Knowing how AMI influence your workflow gives you the foundation to navigate these challenges effectively, but theory alone isn't enough. It's the hands-on setup and troubleshooting that you'll truly develop these skills. So I want to emphasize troubleshooting as well. That really, when you spend a good time troubleshooting something, you really get to understand what is happening within your code base and what is contained within your file and how different uh, components work together and function together. So I would say troubleshooting is a big part. Honestly, with this field, that's where learning occurs the most. So an Amazon machine image is a blueprint for creating EC2 instances. It dictates the operating system, install tools, and configurations, providing the foundation for the environment. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on one second. Key components of an AMI is an operating system, default packages, and optional pre-installed software. So examples of an operating system include Linux, Ubuntu, or Windows. Default packages may include tools like the AWS CLI or Docker, and then some optional stuff. Some AMIs come with additional configurations tailored for specific use cases. So what are the common AMI choices and their strengths? We're going to be mainly dealing with Linux and Ubuntu in this course. So A strength of Linux is that it's lightweight and optimized for AWS. It's cost effective with minimal overhead, and it's ideal for general purpose workloads. Ubuntu, on the other hand, its strengths are popular with robust community support. It offers a broader range of pre-built packages, and it's excellent for developers familiar with Linux environments. Understanding your AMI choice allows you to align your environment with your project needs, ensuring the right tools and configurations are at your fingertips. But over time, you'll know which one select for your use case. When working with cloud environments, especially EC2, adapting to variations is key. Here are some practical tips to tackle installation challenges. So we have know your CLI and package manager, be comfortable troubleshooting, understand networking and security, document as you go, and practice repetition. So familiarize yourself with tools like app, yum, DNF. These are essential for managing software. Be comfortable with troubleshooting. Uh, Many installation issues can be solved by checking logs. On Linux, you would look within this directory for clues when something doesn't work. You can check logs, validate connections using ping to see if it is able to if you're able to confirm connectivity, or you can reinstall packages using different commands like apt-get install reinstall or yum reinstall. And again, apt is for Ubuntu and yum is for Linux. Understanding network and security. Ensure your instance has internet access for downloading packages and check security group rules. You can also think of this as firewalls within AWS to open required ports. So understanding networking basics like IP addresses, DNS, ports, permissions, and environment configuration files like .bashrc and .zshrc files. Documenting, keep a record of the commands that worked and configurations you change. This saves time and makes future setups easier. And practice repetition. So let's apply these principles to real-world examples by walking through a PostgreSQL setup on two different AMIs within AWS. I will be demonstrating that to see. We can skip that. So it was mentioned earlier, Linux is lightweight and designed specifically for AWS workloads. Ubuntu offers a broader range of packages and a larger support from its community. But let's walk through setting up an EC2 instance with Linux. So I already have AWS popped up. So once you log into AWS, you will be redirected to this home screen. Within here, you can just see all your different all the different services that AWS offers by clicking this little tile widget up here, right next to the AWS icon, and you can just browse through, or if you know where you're going to, you can just search for it, and usually what you search for will pop up over here in your recently visited. Those are the main areas you really need to know for right now. But for EC2, so you can just search it up. It's right here for me as well. You can add it to your favorites. So for future purposes, it'll be a quicker access. So we'll go to EC2 right now. When you click on EC2, so again, it stands for Elastic Cloud Compute. You'll be taken to another screen with a bunch of options in the left-hand pane. Everything over here, I never really look at. Uh, you don't really need to see these. These are pretty much the same thing as what's listed over here. But the main important tabs to know for you guys right now is the Instances tab. So you just click on there, and we will be launching a new instance. And these are the instances that I currently have at the moment. And once you create a new instance, it will populate here as well. Any questions before I continue? Okay, so we will be creating a new instance. Let me move this actually to a new window. Okay. So when we click the launch instance button, we will be taken to a new screen where you can set up the configuration and settings for your virtual server. So the first thing you want to look at is the name module. So this is where you will actually uh, pick the name for your instance that will show up on that previous screen that I had you guys looking at. So right here. For right now, we will just name this let's name this test, or for this class, I want you guys to get into the habit of putting your first name, uh, and then first initial, do a hyphen, and then name it whatever the instance relates to. So for this, we will say Postgres QL Flask app. After you pick the name, you actually get to choose the AMI, and over here they list out different options for you. You have Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, Linux, and more. Uh, for this instance, we are going to be using Linux. So we're going to ensure that the Linux uh, tile is clicked. And right below that, we have the different versions that we can choose from. Right now, there's only two free tier eligible versions. Amazon Linux 2023 kernel 6.1 and 6.12. We will use the later version of 6.12. So after you click 6.1, the certain version that you want, the AMI that you want, then you don't have to mess with any of the settings within this little window right here. You can continue to the next module where you can select the instance type. This is pretty much determined by how large you want your server to be. So for right now, there's a few free tier eligible. We will be using T3 micro. There's some other choices as well. T2 small, T2 medium, large, extra large, but we will be using the T3 micro using the free tier option. Next module shows key pair settings. So this is what you use to securely connect to your instance using either SSH or etc. Ensure that you have access to the selected key pair before you launch the instance. So whenever you create a key pair, you're going to want to choose RSA, which is an encrypted private and public key pair, and you're going to be using a .pem key file format. So when you create the key pair, it will actually download the key for you, and usually it will go to your downloads folder, but you can move it somewhere else that you would like. But the reason why I am telling you that is because later on, when you try to actually get into the server using the terminal, you want to be within that same directory that your .pem file, your key pair file is in, so that you can use that to get in within your within the server.
Hey, Eric, a quick question.
Yeah.
Sh- Should we do unique key pairs for each project or keep one key pair through the course, through the length of the course?
Yeah, you only need one key pair. So for the whole course, just make sure you have that, and you don't let anything, uh, you don't forget where it's at or anything. Just make sure it's in a safe place that is easily accessible. But you only need
Thanks.
one. Yep. So I already have one created, so I'm not going to create a new one. For this demonstration, I will be using my test key. And then for right now, you don't have to mess with the network settings too much. This is where you can configure your subnets and then your VPC. So it stands for Virtual Private Cloud. This is the actual network where the server is going to be contained within, as well as your firewall or security groups. So for right now, we're just going to keep this checked, allow SSH traffic from anywhere. We're not too concerned about security for this moment, for this demonstration. And you'll keep this unchecked, allow HTTP traffic. So all you need for this is the allow SSH traffic from, so that you can actually access that this EC2 instance from the terminal. After you configure your network settings, you don't have to mess with the storage for right now. We also have some advanced details you don't have to mess with right now. So in the main, so going back, the main settings that you want to configure are the name, choosing your AMI and your OS, choosing your instance type, your key pair, and then just allowing the SSH traffic. And then as you can see over here to the right-hand side, it contains all the summary of the different configurations that you just set up. Here's a little bit more information about the free tiers. In your first year of opening an AWS account, you get 750 hours per month of the T2 micro instance or T3 micro when used with free tier AMIs. 750 hours per month of public IPv4 address usage, and then 30 gigabytes of EBS, so elastic block storage, and 2 million input outputs, 1 gigabyte of snapshots, 100 gigabytes of bandwidth, and data transfer charges are not included as part of the free tier allowance. So everything looks good. You're going to hit launch instance. And before we continue any further, are there any questions? So as you guys can see, we do have the new EC2 instance popping up within our instances dashboard. And it is currently initializing. It takes a little bit, but you can hit this refresh button right here at the top and just wait for it to get set up. So is there any questions?
I think I missed it right when you were looking at it. Were there any advanced settings
Yeah,
that you changed?
the advanced settings, no. All you needed to configure was the name, the AMI, so your OS, your
Okay, I just saw that you had dropped down the advanced details. So, but if you didn't change anything, you left all the defaults, then I will unclick it.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
That's default. Yep. Do you guys have AWS access?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's check if it's done. It's still initializing. Did your guys' already finish setting up, or is it still initializing as well?
Mine failed, so I have to go back and see what I did wrong.
It's weird how it's taking forever. Okay. I'll show you guys how to delete this too. And I'll start a new one. Repetition is key.
Mine
So,
launched in Virginia.
okay, you had it in Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, one thing you guys have to be mindful too of is the region that you are currently in. Right now I'm working out of Ohio, so US East 2. Uh, these two are generally a safe bet to use, US East 1, US East 2, well, at least 4. But yeah, if you end up transferring to or switching to another region, those same instances aren't going to be popping up because it's not within that specific center or facility. So
Actually, I'm still initializing. I lied. Sorry.
okay, mine is running.
Mine's running. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll show you guys how to delete this one. So to delete an instance, you just click on the checkbox to the left of it. And then you can do click on instance state, and you can either stop it, that pretty much just stops it from running. You can reboot it and it'll just restart it, or you can terminate, which actually deletes the instance. Stopping just like I said, stops the running of everything, but it doesn't actually delete it. So that's the difference between terminate and stop. So I'll go ahead and terminate this instance. And then if you refresh, there's nothing anymore on the status check, and in the instance state, it'll keep you updated with its status. So right now it's shutting down, and we don't really need to wait for that because it will do its thing in the background. So right now I'll show you guys how to actually connect to within the EC2 instance that we just created. So go ahead and click on the checkbox to the left of it, and then you would just click connect. So we will connect to our EC2 instances through SSH. It gives you a quick instruction on how to do it. So open your terminal, locate your key file, your PEM key file, and then if necessary to change the permissions within that same directory that your PEM key file is in, you would click on this icon to copy the command and just paste it. So this changes the permissions for that PEM key file and its accessibility. And then to actually connect to your instance, you can just click on this command here at the bottom. So we copy that command. We will go to a new terminal. And can everybody see my terminal? Do I need to make the font bigger, Cam?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So since we copied that connection command, we'll just do Command V to paste. And we'll quickly go through it. So you're stating you want to use the SSH command. The I flag stands for interactive. And then within the quotations is what your PEM key file is called, so its name. And then you're connecting to the EC2 user at the EC2's IP address. This is what that number stands for. And then there's the region that it's in, and there's just AWS stuff. So we'll press enter, and you'll get a prompt asking if you want to continue. So you just press yes. There is a flag that you can put in along with this command that will automatically skip this. I think it's -y, but I don't really like using that. I like to see all the prompts that are given so that because what if I don't want to do something and it automatically does it for me. So I like to make sure and ensure what I'm doing at every step. So we'll press yes to continue. And once you press yes, you'll immediately connect to the EC2 instance. You know you're within the instance when you see this little bird image thing.
If we get a permission denied,
Mhm.
it's the most likely reason for that.
Did you run that chmod command?
Yep.
Hmm.
And I mean, this is the same pen that I used for like the other instances we did last week,
Mhm.
and it worked fine then.
Okay.
We can troubleshoot it later. I
Yeah,
don't want to hold everybody up. I was just wondering if there was like off
Does
the top of your head.
Does the PEM file have to be in the area that you're at right now?
I mean, like I'm in the SSH folder because that's where I have my pen file.
So in the chat, just put your errors and Kim and Mike, can you guys see if you can help her as we continue with the lecture?
Okay. Do we want to go to a breakout room or?
Or no, just or we can hold off until the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you know you're within the EC2 instance when you see you're connected to the EC2 user, and it states the IP address of that EC2 instance. So it's 172.3.1. Let's double check. Go back here, and then you can look at all the details within that specific instance by clicking on the instance ID. And yep, 172.3.1.3055, which is the IPv4 IP address. So since we are now connected, first thing we want to do is update all the packages and update everything. So the command that we will be running to do that is sudo dnf update, and it is different on the GitHub repo because it is a little bit outdated. We're using a newer version. It's that was the one on the repo is for Amazon Linux or it's for Linux too, but we are using a different one that it is using the free tier. And I don't think Linux 2 is free tier eligible anymore. So the first command I want you guys to run is sudo dnf update. It updates packages, the metadata packages. So you just press enter. And it does take a little while. But you should get a message that says complete and dependencies resolved. Or you may get some other messages, but if it doesn't say anything like error or you don't see any red, you're good. So after you update the packages metadata, next thing we're going to do is search for available PostgreSQL packages so that we can see which one we want to install. So to check all the different PostgreSQL packages, we do sudo dnf install or sudo dnf search PostgreSQL. And can anybody remind me what sudo stands for? Or what sudo is, what it
Super
does?
user do gives you
Yep.
elevated permissions to run commands.
Yep, exactly. So after running that command, which is right here, it gives you the list of different PostgreSQL versions that you can install within this server. For us, we will be using PostgreSQL 16 server. So
I'm
to-
sorry, can you scroll up to the command you just ran? I'm catching up.
yeah.
Sudo DNF search.
And again, this doesn't really do anything besides giving you a list of the different versions that you can install.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Yep. So now to install that package, which I was saying is what we will be using is PostgreSQL 16 server. You would run this specific command sudo dnf install PostgreSQL 16 PostgreSQL 16 server. So this installs PostgreSQL 16 and its server package. So you would just press enter. And it will give you a prompt asking if you want to install it. And like I said, you can skip these prompts by including the flag -y within the original command that you just ran. So just to answer the prompt, just press Y, press enter, and everything will install. So it says complete over here in the bottom left corner. So that was a success. We'll go ahead and clear the screen just to make it easier to read. And then next thing we want to do is actually initialize the database. For that, we will do sudo /usr /bin /postgres ql setup. And this is the file where that setup file is located. And then you'll just put in a space and type in init for initialize db. So initdb initialize database. Any questions so far? So it initialized, and then logs are held within this path. Next thing after that, what we want to do is we create a symlink to the PostgreSQL service file and configure it to start automatically whenever the system boots. So for that command, we run sudo system ctl. You'll also be using this command a lot when working with Docker and other technologies. It just allows you to control the system, make changes. So sudo system ctl enable, and then we'll put in a flag called now because you wanted to you want to start it in the moment, and then PostgreSQL. So you should get a message that says created symlink. After, let's just ensure that it is running. So sudo system ctl status. PostgreSQL. Put in sudo. So the main section we are looking for, the main line we're looking for is the active line, and it is active and running. Does anybody else say anything different? Okay, so it is running. Let's just double check the version of the PSQL with PSQL version. And it is running version 16.1. So that is what we installed, so we're good to go on that. Now, just to test out being able to access the PSQL shell, we'll have to switch to the Postgres user. So that command is sudo -i for interactive space -u for user, and then you'll put in your parameters for the user right after it, and it will be PostgreSQL. Or it'll actually just be Postgres. So as you can see, after running that command, our user changed from EC2 user to Postgres. And now we can open PSQL. And we have reached the shell. So now we can pretty much run all the PSQL commands like listing databases. Okay, so let's just quit out of that by doing \Q. If we do if we do exit, we can go back to the EC2 user. So, and then once we're back to the EC2 user, I just want to show you guys that the PSQL command won't work. it says the role does not exist. So in order to access that PSQL shell, you do have to change to the Postgres user. And let me see. So that's pretty much the commands that you have to run for getting your Linux server started up and set up. Now we will go into the setting up an Ubuntu server if there's no questions. So are there any questions before we continue on?
I think it would be nice just to take a moment to capture notes here and digest this, but
Okay, yeah, I can quickly go over it again. So uh first thing you want to do is update here, let me clear this out. So after you connect, the first thing you want to do is update your metadata packages. And for that, you will run sudo dnf update. And that just updates all the packages. After that, and this is really optional, but if you want to see the list of different options that you have for available packages that you can install, you would run sudo dnf search PostgreSQL, and that'll show everything that is available for Postgres, different versions that you can install. After that command, you actually want to install whatever you choose, and you'll change this depending, as well as this second portion of it. And that's pretty much the name of uh, what you want to install. And you can get all that information from that previous command. After running that, after installing, you want to initialize the database, and you run sudo user bin PostgreSQL setup, and then initialize the database. After initializing the database, you want to create a symlink and tell the system to pretty much start Postgres whenever the system boots up. And for that, you would have to run this command, sudo systemctl enable now PostgreSQL. To make sure that it is running and to check the status of it, you would do sudo systemctl status PostgreSQL. And then just for verification, just to check the version of PSQL, see if it's the correct one you installed. And then to access the shell, you would run sudo -i for interactive, -u for user, and then the user that you want to switch to, which in this case is Postgres. After that, then you can actually type in the PSQL command and reach that shell and interact with the database. Any questions?
thanks.
Yep. If there's no other
Yeah,
question.
it went well.
Yep, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, it went well. Everything's successful. So
Sounds
great.
good. All right, so we'll go ahead and quit out of this shell. We'll exit. And then we will also, to exit out of the EC2 instance, you can just run exit again, and it'll take you back to your local system. So next up, we will go over how to set up an EC2 instance with Ubuntu. And let me just add Linux to this so we know the difference. We can so we can uncheck this. We will create a new instance, and then here, let me just copy this. So for this next demonstration, we're going to create a EC2 instance with Ubuntu. So we can just change the name, so we can quickly identify the difference. So again, for creating the instance, we're going to change the name. We're going to select our OS images. And instead of selecting Linux, we will click on Ubuntu. And we are looking for the free tier as well for this one. And we'll go with the latest one with the version 24. Just confirm changes. Did you guys get that same error, or was it just me? Or not error, but pop-up? Okay. I think it's because of my other EC2 instance that I'm running. But yeah, that's the one you want to choose, version 24. You can skip this little box right here, goes straight to the instance type. We will leave it at t3.micro. And then for the key pair, just go ahead and select the key pair that you've been using and the one that you used for the last instance. Network settings, you don't have to mess with too much. Just ensure that the allow SSH traffic is checked. And then that's all we need to modify. So everything looks good. We'll go ahead and launch the instance. Again, it'll take a little bit. And I know that this is a lot of information right now, but like in a few weeks, this will be second nature for you guys. You'll be able to do it just like that. Know what settings to configure and everything. So yeah, let's just wait for that to initialize. Any questions, comments, concerns?
So Eric, I'm getting the security group launch wizard 32 already exists for the VPC that I chose.
So did you change your VPC?
I didn't think I changed my VPC.
Are there any other instances within that region besides the one you just created?
Oh, okay. So possibly someone else is using this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did all you guys get assigned to different regions, by the way? Or are you guys just kind of choosing whichever region?
I
don't
left
think-
mine and it was east. So
I'm US East 2 as well.
Wait, so you guys you guys got assigned those? No? Okay. I'll bring that up. See if we can assign you guys different regions so that way there's barely any conflicts. Or there's no conflicts.
I'm sorry, what do we need to do to get the conflict resolved? I also had the same conflict issue.
You're getting the same issue as Troy?
Yeah,
Which region are you using? Are you in the same region as Troy?
US East 1.
US East 1. Troy, were you 1 or 2?
I'm in one. Yeah.
Okay, so is everybody in US East 1 getting that then? For now, I would say you guys delete the instances that you guys created over there. If you're getting the error in US East 1, and then Troy and Edison just go to US West 1. Try to see if it'll work there.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, I'll give you guys like a little bit just to get that set up. So yeah, I mentioned earlier, if you click on the instance ID, you can see all the different details and settings that you configured. Whether it's the IPv4 IP address, the instance ID, the VPC ID that you're on, subnet IDs, different details, the image. If you set up alarms, you can go to this tab. Monitoring with CloudWatch, you can monitor different metrics. Security, this is a big one that you will need to know for future in the future. Setting up the firewalls and the different ports. This is where you can go to for quick access, and you can actually see what security group it is your instance is linked to. More network details, storage, and then tags. If once you're running like automation, you can put in some tags, and you can put different keys in here. You can have, say, like if you have 4 instances, you put 2 of the same tags within 2 of those instances. It'll only affect those instances if you're trying to configure something. But that's just a quick overview. You don't have to know that for right now. But let's go back to the instance, connect to it. And check this. We're going to be connecting to the Ubuntu server. We'll just do connect. And run that same command, but notice how the user changes over here to Ubuntu as well as the IP. So let's go back to our terminal, paste that in. Yes. And we have connected. So same, we're going to be going through the same process pretty much as what we did through the Linux server, but using different commands. Like I said, it's all, the more you do this, you kind of start to see a pattern with everything. But to update the list of available packages, you would run sudo apt update. Press enter. And this will just update, like I said, update the list of available packages that you can install. It might take a little bit. And after I'm done running through all these commands, I will go back over it again. Just so everybody gets them down. But next command that you will run is sudo apt upgrade. And this installs the latest versions of packages that are already installed. So the previous command updates the list of available packages that you can install, and then this one installs the latest versions of the ones that's already installed. So run sudo apt upgrade, capital Y for yes, enter. And this one might take a bit. But it's definitely satisfying to run a command and then see this rather than get some red fonts or seeing the word error. So after that long process, it should be done. Is anybody still going? Next command we will run after installing those packages or installing the latest versions of those packages. We're going to install PostgreSQL using sudo apt install PostgreSQL and then PostgreSQL contrib. We'll press enter. Confirm the prompt. And Postgres should be installed. After that, we're going to start PostgreSQL using sudo systemctl start PostgreSQL. Press enter. This just starts the service. And we didn't get anything returned, so that's usually a good sign. So next thing we will want to do is configure PostgreSQL to automatically start on boot. This one was just pretty much saying started right now, but every time we turn on the system or reach a system, we want it to automatically kick off. So for that command, we will run sudo systemctl enable PostgreSQL. The difference is enable and start. So it says enabled, Next thing we want to do is actually check the version that we have using PSQL version -- version, and we have 16.1 like before.
Eric, can you do a quick history and I'll grab a snap of your last commands?
Yeah, I'll go back over it in a second. We're almost done. I'm just gonna show you guys. You're pretty much doing the same thing that you did with the Linux command. You are in the Linux server where you have to switch the users. So sudo -i -u Postgres and then PSQL. That's how you reach the shell. So going back to the different commands, just exit out of here. So first thing you want to do is sudo apt update, which updates the list of available packages. Then you want to do sudo apt upgrade, which installs the latest versions of the packages that are already installed. Then you want to do sudo apt install PostgreSQL, PostgreSQL contrib to actually install PostgreSQL onto the server. Next command starts PostgreSQL immediately, telling the service to start right now.
Do you mind just doing a history so I could grab one snapshot of?
Oh, okay. That's what you meant? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I can't quite type fast enough to. Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And then yes, after that you enable. So that's so for future purposes, it would immediately start PostgreSQL. And I was showing you guys earlier the difference is enable and start. And then just to double check the version using PSQL version. Then you switch the user. And then you press PSQL to actually reach the shell. Any questions? If not, then I will drag this lesson back over there. So those are the steps that we just went through right here. The commands listed below over here are for Amazon Linux 2, but we use the newer images that AWS has to offer. First, we went over Linux, and then we went over Ubuntu configuration. In summary, eventually you'll have the knowledge and confidence to choose the right AMI for your needs. But today we just chose the free tier eligible OSs. Key takeaways for success: be adaptable, document everything, practice regularly, and ask for help. So being adaptable, every system has nuances, learn the fundamentals. Always take notes during troubleshooting, and whenever you're just going through a process, try to document it. Practice regularly. This will build your confidence. And then ask for help. Use forums, official docs, AWS support. A good website to go to is Stack Overflow. Usually, depending on how you word a Google search, you can, and then add Stack Overflow at the end. Chances are someone has probably ran into that error already. Next, we will get into this lab. Are there any questions before we continue? You guys want to take a 15?
Yes.
All right. Just be back at 9:43. And I'll see you guys then.
Can I ask a question while we're on break?
Yeah.
So, when I pulled up the instances, like that works when I create it.